over a decade, Manitoba Underground Opera has produced adventurous productions of classic operatic repertoire in unique locations around the city. From August 16th to 24th, Manitoba Underground Opera presents Reflections of Ourselves, a program designed to both help you embrace your past and prepare you for your future. To tell us more about the three MUO productions, I'm joined by Brendan McKeen. Good morning, Brendan.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, welcome to Classic 107. As I mentioned in the introduction, it's been more than 10 years since Manitoba Underground Opera was founded.
Right.
A, congratulations.
Thank you.
But B, can you take me back to 2008? What inspired you to start this company?
I was friends with all the singers at university. They're the best people. I was friends with them, and I said, hey, I want to be a conductor. You want to sing. Can I put together a group? And can we just do some things together and see what happens? And it started out being kind of a thing where everybody who was a bit older, like fifth-year students, went, well, we want to do opera, so let's make it happen. And then we went, oh, we'll be student-led, and we're doing opera. And, you know, it's a workshop, so we'll be the student-led opera workshop. We'll call ourselves Slow. And so that lasted until we got to the point where we said, I think we've outgrown Slow.
Yes.
We should pick a new name.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if you go back in time and look at the 10 years, you won't see Manitoba Underground Opera. It'll be Slow.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's really grown into quite the company. And we're going to get to this year's production. I mean, not one, but three productions taking place this year.
Right.
In addition to a children's tour. There's so much that's going on. But to me, you mentioned you were friends with the singers. I was in the Faculty of Music, and I remember you would come in, and of course you would chat with the singers when I was there. And then you went off to Northwestern and went and continued and pursued conducting further. But all the while you'd come back and they'd be like, oh, there's that guy, he's Manitoba Underground Opera. Like, we would know about you. And the big thing about Manitoba Underground Opera for me is the opportunity presented to young singers. Why was that important to you?
Because the more I became friends with them, the more I talked about them and what they wanted to pursue, there's just a big gap between finishing school and then all of a sudden being able to do it as a career, making a complete living out of it. So one of the reasons that we kept going and that we started to do more things is that we really want to give opportunities so that people can not just, get on stage and perform, but they can build experience. They can build contacts from all over the country. They can find other ways to work together over years coming up. So one of the big things is all of these singers don't just go here. They work together in other parts of the country. One of our singers is out in Prince George, BC, and started their company. And it's really fun because they're before us. They're in July. And sometimes we talk about who each other are hiring so we don't overload people.
Yeah, but and the exciting thing is it's drawing on more than Manitoba now, even more than Winnipeg, more than Manitoba. It's becoming a national draw for young artists and young performers.
Yeah, and especially people that went to school here, were born here, raised here, and go off and do school in Toronto and then decide to stay in Toronto, they get to come home.
Yeah.
And that's how I started this whole summer is everybody that came in, welcome home. Welcome back to Manitoba Underground Opera.
So let's get to this season. It begins on August 16th with Dido and Aeneas. What can you tell us about this production?
It will be a bit sad. In case you don't know the plot, it does not end well. We decided to focus it on high school bullying. In fact, a lot of this season is very much focused on social causes. We believe that it's art's job to pull us forward, to show us things, to theater, stretches that empathy muscle, and then music just puts it on steroids. So Dido and Aeneas is very much focused on high school bullying. Dido and Aeneas, the tragic love, are being split apart by high school bullying, and you get to see how that would happen in modern time. It's not traditionally set. You see the sorceress walk around with her cell phone and she casts a magic spell by just starting some text messages.
Yeah. It brings it into the modern day, and it speaks to the story itself, that it can be reimagined in the present time and still totally work. This is a performance that's taking place at the Broadway Neighborhood Center.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, in the gymnasium. So you walk in and you're back in high school gym class.
Yeah, you're right there in school.
Which has, I'm sure, a lot of memories for a lot of people out there, whether you liked it or just hated every second. You will be in that gym watching these high schoolers act this out.
So speaking of going back in time, the other kind of major or better known name production is The Triumph of Truth and Time.
Yes.
This an oratorio by George Frederick Handel. Perhaps not the best known. I know it was one that he tinkered on for many, many years.
Yep.
Tell us about this production.
It's my baby. It's my absolute baby. The music is so beautiful. It's been on my bucket list for so many years. And then we just kind of said, it was actually the third one added of the set of 3. It was the last one, and kind of went, well, I'd like to do something small. This only takes 4 people, and it's so beautiful. So then it became, how do we want to do it? And I said, well, I want it up close and personal. So there's a very small amount of seats. It's in a little exchange gallery, the Creatory Gallery, so you're really close. And I wanted to say, I want us to do Handel, and I want people to be overwhelmed by the emotion of it. And to me, the story, it's about beauty, and beauty is torn between listening to pleasure or listening to truth and time. And they fight over her soul over the evening. And I went, I want to have a night where we walk in with just a small amount of people, you're really close, and in an hour and a half, you'll find out if we save beauty's soul for the rest of eternity. So I just always think of it as very high stakes sort of evening.
Yeah, high stakes and yet intimate. Those sound somewhat contradictory, but no,
Right.
they work so well together.
Yeah.
And when you're speaking of art and how music has the power to really question and to draw and to really shed light on, a very exciting production. And 3 chances to see that show on the 17th, 22nd, and 24th.
Yes, and I will be conducting, so you will see me do an introduction, then the back of my head for an hour.
Yeah, you really get to do it all,
Yeah.
don't you? As
This
the
one I
general
insisted.
manager, yeah.
So, if you're going to make a show that's going to be your baby, you don't at the last minute go, okay, you can do this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, I'm going to take this one right to the end, and it closes the festival too. So it's very close to my heart on this one.
Now, the last show in the season is one created by Manitoba Underground Opera's artistic director, Brenna Corner, excuse me. What can you tell us about Lost Voices?
Brenna is brilliant.
She is.
She's actually not here because she's at Lincoln Center doing a workshop right now that was invitation only. So I wish she could speak more to this. But Brenna and Sawyer connected and said, we want to do something where we travel and we want to explore the role of women in history. And then at that point I went, cool, let me know what the end result is. You don't need me to walk in and go, oh, it should be. It's like, have some fun. And so the audience will, in small groups of 20, will tour around 6 different locations, inside, outside, around the whole St. Boniface Cathedral. And you'll hear stories of women artists, women writers, musicians, composers, people related to that, fictional characters. And it's all about women and how they've been treated throughout history. And as though that can sound like it's quite heavy, I just got to see a bit of a work through last night, and it has this most beautiful, hopeful ending to it that I just it was a 5-hour long work through, and at the end I went, you know what, I could do that again. Just something magic about the ending, I find. Yeah, but so that's, they wrote a script, the artists are all sopranos, they got to talk about what they wanted to do, what was important to them. And it's this beautiful collaboration of, 13 women just saying what has happened and where do we want to go. And so I just watch and make sure it starts on time. That's it.
And one of those performances, our very own Ashley Reese is performing in Lost Voices.
So thrilled. And she is going to knock your socks off with what she is bringing to this one.
As she does. So Lost Voices, again, created by Brenna Corner and Sawyer Craig, the Winnipeg-based singer and director. Brenna, the last thing I want to ask you, as I mentioned in the intro, over 10 years, Manitoba Underground Opera has been doing their thing here in the city, giving young artists opportunities. Where do you see Manitoba Underground Opera going in the future?
Oh my goodness, you've what I've been thinking about the past 2 months. We never even thought something like this summer was possible. And now that we're here, it's kind of a moment to September just to take a step back and go, we can really accomplish anything we set our minds to. We've built so much, and like three main stage shows, a kids show that's touring 23 times.
Yeah, Three Little Pigs.
Outreach that you can see us at True North Square. All sorts of things that I never thought. So I think we'll have to kind of go, what do we want to do? There is no ceiling to where we want to be.
Well, I'm looking forward to having you back so you can tell us about what the latest is.
They're like, next year, something totally different.
Oh, Brenda, thanks so much for coming by Classic 107 this morning.
My pleasure.
Brenda McKeen, founder and general manager of Manitoba Underground Opera. They present Reflections of Ourselves from August 16th to 24th, with performances taking place around the city. Visit ManitobaUndergroundOpera.com for details and tickets while we hear a little bit of music from Purcell's Dido and Aeneas.